In today's video, we will add a struct file that will help us manage our data coming from the API. Let's get started. Welcome back, fellow coders. My name is Fernando, and today we continue building our weather application. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and check out my blog at coderman.tech. We'll start by adding a new file. Select Swift file and click Next. And then we're going to name it weather. And click Create. We will now begin to type the variables that we need here. And I'm going to type, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. And then I'm just going to copy and paste the rest. And you can copy the code from the repository, which is going to be available in the description. So we'll type a few here. We have date and time, and it's going to be a NS date. We have city, which is going to be a string type. Country, which is going to be another string. Longitude, which is going to be a double, and latitude, which is going to be a double as well. I will now paste the rest of the variables, and I'm going to explain what we have so far. Everything inside the yellow boxes are constants. You've probably seen this before, so I won't go into great details about it. For a variable, you need 3 things. The first one is the let or var, which is sort of the Swift identifier for variables. Then you have the variable name, and this could be anything. We are using camel case here. And lastly, we have the variable data type, and as you can see here on Xcode, it's highlighted blue, but it can be any color for your theme. Now inside the pink, we have what is known as computer properties, and they're basically variables with a get and set methods, and you can do anything inside those methods. In our case, we are taking the temperature, which is given to us in Kelvin, and we are doing some computations to get Celsius and Fahrenheit values as well. Next, we'll begin to write our init method, and we'll give it a parameter of weather data of type string, and it's going to be any object as well. Inside our init method, we'll begin assigning data to all of our variables, and we're basically assigning the data that's going to be passed to our init method, which is going to be coming from the API data as a JSON string, and then it's going to pass that on to all of our variables, which is going to be making it more accessible for us. And so I'm going to type a few here, and then I'm just going to copy and paste, and same as before, all of the code is going to be on the repository. So make sure to check the description for the link. Okay, let's talk about date and time. Here we are assigning an NS date, and then we're using the time interval method, and we give it a parameter which comes from the API weather data. DT, that's going to be the date and time, and then we're using optionals here to force downcast as time interval. If you're not too familiar with optionals, I'm going to put some links in the description to get you up to speed on the optionals. Which is a new feature for most developers that come from other languages. In general, it's not a good practice to do force downcasting or force unwrapping with optionals, unless you know that you're going to have that data available on that variable. In this case, we know we're going to have the data because we are doing the error checking prior to giving the data to the init method. So in our case, we can do force downcasting, but just be aware that it's not the best practice. The next thing I want to go over is the dictionaries. Weather data with weather ID comes in as a dictionary. So I want to be able to take that data that comes on that object and then assign the data to our designated variables. So for example, weather ID, we are getting the data from the weather dictionary, and we take the ID and pass it out as an int. And we do the same with the rest of the variables. I hope you enjoy the video. In the next video, we'll begin building our user interface. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and remember to code with a purpose.